What's up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back if you're listening on podcast. Hope you guys are doing pretty good. Hope you guys had yourselves a pretty good week. We are back with a brand new episode of Nerd Talk with a brand new guest. So I want to get us kicked off and started. Tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, my name is Heidi. I am a semi-professional cosplayer, and that's kind of the main thing. Anime weeb lover, Hololive enthusiast.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So first and foremost, how long have you been a cosplayer?
Casually, I've been cosplaying since about 2012, 2011. More professionally since 2018, 19.
Okay. What's the difference between what you were doing before and now the more professionally?
In my brain, it's like I'm doing costumes for and getting paid versus just kind of just doing what I want. I obviously still cosplay what I want because that is a big part of cosplay.
Yeah.
But there is an aspect of like it being more of a job versus just, oh, I'm gonna do this for fun.
So is it along the lines of like if a con wants you to come be a guest or something, that's what you'll do? Okay.
Yeah, along those lines, and working with companies to promote them as well.
Okay. Any big brand companies that we know of?
My biggest and most proud collaboration as of today is going to be working with Shueisha. They're in charge of One Piece.
Oh.
And then I have some stuff that I can't announce yet.
Oh, okay.
It's super exciting. Yeah, there's some cool things coming, but I can't say it yet.
Okay. So how long have you been in discussion with them about that?
So that was I worked with them back in it was before COVID, so I want to say 2019 or 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, that was when I worked with them. So that was like it was a while ago. But
okay. Mm-hmm. So tell us about some of the cons that you attend in your area. Do you pretty much like, because most cosplayers that I've had on, they typically, I think most would go to maybe 3, maybe 4 cons a year. What about you? What do you go to, and how many times do you usually go?
So I go to a lot of conventions per year. Unintentionally. It's kind of just it changes yearly based on like guesting and such.
Mm-hmm.
But like this last year I've already been to like I want to say I've already been to 5 this year. But I also don't remember because I have a really bad memory. But the ones I mostly go to are the ones I go to every year are Fanime, Anime Expo, and I really like to go to Anime Los Angeles. I'm California based, so those ones are really easy for me to go to.
Oh, okay.
This year I attended CoastCon as a cosplay guest, which was super fun. I've also been to Stockton Con as a cosplay guest, SAC Anime as a cosplay guest, and a few others that I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, Anime Impulse. I've done all of them. Last year I went to 4 of the Anime Impulse events that they did.
Okay.
Which was, or 3. No, I went to 4. They did LA, San Diego, Orange County, and Northern California. And I went to all 4. This year I'm planning on only attending Orange County, I think. And I did attend LA, so I guess that's another one I've already been to. Convention. I love conventions so much, but they kind of blur together because they are very similar in events. So it's like, oh wait, which one was this? When did I do that?
Tell me about the anime expos. You're at this point, you're maybe like the 5th or 6th person I've had on. That's in the California area.
Mm-hmm.
And some have been to Anime Expo. But interestingly enough, and I guess I want to hear your thoughts, but like I hear a lot of like mixed things about anime expos. Are they? Because obviously I mean they're cons, but obviously they're different from your typical con. So, because I remember watching something on TikTok where they were talking, where somebody had like I kind of had like a bad experience at at an anime expo. Um, so what are anime expos like?
So Anime Expo, I count more as an industry event, industry convention
Oh,
versus more fan run. So you're gonna have bigger corporations at this one. Think of it more like San Diego Comic Con or E3, where you have these bigger corporations showcasing their booths, giving off new information, new releases. It's also because it's the biggest anime convention in the United States, I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of people flying from out of state, out of town, out of country to attend this event. So you get a very mishmash of people, you get a very mishmash of brands. Um, it is a lot of fun, but you do need to go in knowing that it's going to be crowded. It's going to be definitely more industry. So it's more like, oh, you're going for the new release of this special edition figure, or maybe you're going to a panel of this anime that you really love that they're releasing the first episode of season 2 that comes out the following month, etc. So they also hold these huge concerts that do cost extra, and the cosplay contest for Anime Expo is the World Cosplay Summit. So that one is them finding the representatives for the United States to go to Japan and compete in the World Cosplay
oh,
competition.
I did
Mhm.
not know
I don't
that.
know too I don't know too much about the World Cosplay Summit because I haven't competed myself. Um, but I do know it is a fun event to watch. It is fun to watch on YouTube after the fact. If we've had some great contestants in the past, that's where you'll see some of the most iconic like transformation costumes, a lot of those really fun skits that went viral maybe 10 years ago. Um, are a lot of those are from that.
Okay, okay. Um, so you've been going to cons for, years at this point. What was it
Mhm.
like the very first time you went to a con, and then who did you cosplay as?
So my very first convention, I it's kind of a funny story. So I didn't my it's like how I started cosplaying story is my friends told me anime conventions existed. I didn't know. I was very in my own little bubble of just being like, oh, I love anime. I like anime. And no one else likes anime, but I do. And then when I transferred high schools, they were like, oh, are you going to Fanime, which is an anime convention in San Jose? I was like, what is a Fanime? And they were like, it's an anime convention. And I was like, oh my God, anime convention? Two things I love. And they're like, but they won't let you in unless you're cosplaying. So this was like a week and a half before the convention. I threw together something very quickly, and I got there in this very janky Party City style cosplay. I cosplayed Luca, the Vocaloid, from her outfit from the video Just Be Friends. And obviously, you don't have to cosplay when you go to a convention. But I had so much fun that I haven't gone to a convention without cosplaying since.
Okay, okay. So what's it like for you when a convention hits you up and says, "Hey, we want you to come and be a guest," or something along those lines? What is that usually like for you?
I absolutely love it. I love guesting and boothing at conventions. I I love just being able to say I'm at an event and people come up to me and say hello. It's very nice to be stationary versus having to run around and try to find people. Um, I also, when I booth, I sell prints and stickers and such, so people can get some little fan merch, and I really appreciate it. And it's always so nice to meet people in person, because a lot of the times people just follow me on social media or online in any way, and they're just like, "I've never seen you before in person, but you're coming to my town, and I want to see you." And I'm like, "Yeah, just come up to my booth. I'll be here all weekend," and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Okay, okay. Are there any cons that you've always wanted to kind of like go and check out outside of the California area?
Yeah, I've actually been to KatsuCon before. I want to go to Colossal Con. That's kind of on my list. It just happened so close to Fanime that I have a hard time doing them back to back. Uh, then there's Anime Week in Atlanta, I think. That was one I used to want to go to. I don't know if I gotta look at their stuff again. And then I want to do Anime NYC at some
Okay.
point. Mhm.
Okay. So tell us about some of the cosplays that you've done over the years.
So I've done definitely over 100 costumes at this point. Some that people know me for are my Supersonicos. I have this book of Sonico that sometimes if I don't know what I want to cosplay next, I just open it up to a random page and point and I'm like, I'm gonna make that one next. Because I really love her as a character. She's cute. She's a little bimbo-y. She's got it all going on for her. So I like that. um, and then I do a lot of One Piece cosplays as well. People know me for that. I've been a huge One Piece fan, One Piece fan my entire life. I caught up to the anime when it was still at Isle of Women, and proceeded to read the manga up to uh God, I got stopped during it was after Mermaid. I don't really remember exactly where I stopped. But then years later, I just restarted at the time skip in the manga and now I read it weekly. And I still watch it weekly and it's a lot of fun. I'm really, really into One Piece.
I remember watching it when it first came out on Toonami. I think that's
Okay.
when it was. I think Toonami was still
It,
around.
yeah,
Uh,
Toonami had it and Four Kids had it. So there was the Four Kids version that had the opening. That's iconic. Uh,
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
if
of
you
then.
haven't listened to the Four Kids One Piece original opening, it's so good. It's so funny.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I know. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
really funny.
I'm
If
pretty
you know
sure the
anything about
Toonami.
One Piece, it's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah. Uh, yeah. I think the first time I watched it was Toonami, and I did watch it for a little while, but but this is also like I think I'm trying to remember like all the shows that were going on, but there were like a lot. I think Naruto was still going on at the
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
Because you know Toonami had that late night slate of anime,
Mhm.
so like Yasha, Yu
Mhm.
Hakusho, so
Yeah.
I paid attention more to those shows than I did One Piece, but I
Yeah.
mean I still enjoyed One Piece. Who's your
Mhm.
favorite character?
Right. So my favorite One Piece character is Uta from Film Red, which is kind of like it's an unusual answer because it's from a movie. But if we talk about like the main crew, I think it's gonna be between Robin and Nami. I would say it was Nami, but recently it's been more Robin, just because she's a little more interesting a character recently,
Okay.
and she's just really cool. She's
uh,
just been really cool lately.
so what did you think of the live action adaptation of One Piece that came out last, I want to say August. Yeah, last August.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was following along when they were creating it, just to be like, oh, let's try not to get our hopes up. But
Oh,
Oda was very hands on with it, like extremely, which is why it did so well. Is because he was just like, no, don't add this. Yes, add this, and he really kept it true to the story. I do tell people who haven't seen One Piece that this is like an abbreviated
oh yeah.
part of the beginning because it goes very quickly. And they probably will flash back on some things at later times versus like trying to fit everything in one season. I'm very excited for the next season. We've gotten some hints of things coming up, and I'm very excited to see how they do it.
I I'm pretty sure when I watched it, I'm trying to because I was as I was watching the show, I was thinking back of me watching the anime, and I'm trying to figure out
Mhm.
what part I got to.
Yeah.
Um, I'm pretty sure I got up for the anime side of it. I'm pretty sure I got up to the Arlong arc.
Yeah.
Um, and so it worked out fine for me because I
Yeah.
remember, but I enjoyed the show. Like I binge watched it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is really like obviously the CGI. It really wasn't bad in a lot of spots. I
Hmm.
thought, and obviously they did change a little bit of things because I think in the show, Sanji's more British, or is he?
I
I know
think
in the
they did
anime
it.
he's more French, right?
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be French inspired,
Oh,
but
okay.
I think they did a really great job with
Yeah.
Sanji. A lot of people were very much hesitant about. Uh, I don't know the actor's name, but they were hesitant about him playing Sanji. And then the second Sanji came out on the screen, I was like, "Yep, he got him perfect." It's like absolutely insane. And that actor learned how to cook properly for the role. He started doing,
Oh.
I think, MMA fighting for the role to make sure he was fully fit and properly do the specialty kicks that Sanji does. And according to TikTok, he's still very much keeping up with both of those. So that's really
Oh.
exciting.
Uh, obviously, I love the actor that plays Luffy. Very
Mhm.
much feels like they pulled him out of the anime into the show.
Mhm.
I thought Zoro was I guess you could probably like he's the most I guess to me he's the most lookalike of his counterpart, whether it's
Mhm.
anime or manga, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I loved his character.
Mhm.
Nami, the actress who did her, was great. Usopp was great. Like I enjoyed all of it. And yeah, it was very much
Mhm.
abridged, but I thought
Mhm.
they did a really good job of giving you the information that you kind of needed without having to do like a lot of filler in the back end. So
Yeah, I agree completely. I'm very excited to see who they cast for some of the upcoming characters. I'm not going to say spoil anything, but if you know One Piece and you've seen some of the teaser stuff, you kind of know what's coming up, and there's going to be a lot of really cool characters coming in, and I'm just super excited to see who they cast for
because
those.
I know they meant, or at least I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I would assume in season two, Chopper will probably appear. Uh, and I've seen people talk about that, whether I guess it's gonna be full CGI because I don't know how you would pull off a character like that without it just being
Mhm.
basically CGI.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. But I mean, I think that's the only one that I know of. I'm not sure of
Mhm.
anybody else who has been kind of like rumored or confirmed to.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
They've
if you know the show or
Yeah, if
the
you know the show, they've confirmed a few characters from teasers. Specifically, when it was, I believe it was Luffy's birthday, Netflix released a thing with the actor who does Luffy, kind of hinting at some of the stuff for season two.
okay,
And if you know, you know. I just don't want to spoil it for
right.
anybody.
uh, I wasn't sure because just looking at watching the trailers, I wasn't sure about Shanks, but I mean I'm relatively fine with it.
Mhm.
Mihawk looked outstanding.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, it was interesting watching them give Kobe a little bit more, a little bit more to do in this show. Because I don't,
Mhm.
I mean, because I guess, I mean, obviously, I've only seen a small portion of it, but I
Yeah.
don't think he does much really through the first part of the series or the anime or
Yeah,
manga.
so in the live action, they kind of progress Kobe a lot faster than in the anime or manga. He isn't, it's not really a spoiler, but he's still a very important character and is extremely interesting of a character as well.
Okay. Okay. Have you also watched, since we're on Netflix
Mhm.
adaptations, did you watch the Yu Yu Hakusho adaptation?
I did not have time to watch the Yu Yu Hakusho
Okay.
adaptation yet. No, I'm a seasonal anime watcher, so like currently with this season, I'm watching at least 8 animes.
Oh my gosh.
So, a lot of my free time goes into watching my daily animes. Um, because I prefer to watch shows weekly.
Mm.
I like the binging aspect too, and there's some days where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna binge the whole thing. But if I don't get to a show weekly, there's a good chance I'm not gonna watch it for a very long time. So I'm just trying to stay up on my animes right now.
So what's some animes that you've already watched or you're currently just, going through?
Well, let's pull up my anime list because as someone who watches so many animes per week, I have to keep track
Oh my
somehow.
goodness.
So like for this season right now, I'm currently watching Bartender Kimi no Glass. I'm watching the new season of My Hero Academia, regrettably, but I'm still watching it. I'm watching Dungeon Meshi. I'm watching Kaiju number 8. I'm watching the new season of Demon Slayer. I'm watching the new season of Konosuba. I'm watching part 2 of the second season of Mushoku Tensei. I'm watching One Piece, obviously. I'm watching Spice and Wolf. I'm watching Go Go Loser Ranger. That's the English title. I'm watching. I'm gonna butcher this name, but it's like Train to the End of the World is the English title. I'm also watching. I got reincarnated as the Seventh Prince to refine my magic power. And I'm watching something jellyfish is the English title. Uh, the Japanese title is Yuru no Kogure wa Oyogani. I butcher the Japanese name, so I try to say it in English when I remember the English title.
That that sounds like a lot.
That's this season, and we start the new season very soon because a lot of these are episode 9 now. So we've got about 3 more weeks left of this season, and then we go into next season.
Are these gonna like be the same shows or is it gonna be different shows?
It'll be different because each season's a little different. If I look at what next season has that I might be watching, next season is the new season of Oshinoko. I'll be watching that. Um, Isekai Suicide Squad is going to be out next season. Part 2 of the Nier animation will be out. 2.5 Jinrin no Gurisa is something I'll probably end up watching. And then, there's this anime about a girl who's a deer.
What?
Definitely going to be watching that one. Um, it's like a comedy. It feels very Nichijou to me, so I'm very excited for it. And then there's a bunch of others. I had to read more on next season to know what else I'll be watching, just to see kind of what is up my alley versus just watching everything because there's over like 20 coming out.
It's just a lot.
Crazy anime girl.
You're not the first that I've met. So,
Yeah.
uh, what was I went to? Because I went to a convention near where I live, and a friend of mine, I showed her like this towel. It was a towel that had, is it Ghoul School? What is it called? Oh, I wish I could remember. It was some kind of anime that she was like, I want
Yeah.
that towel. I was like, okay. So I got her the towel because she wanted it. So,
Very good. Oh, it might be Ghost School or
yes.
Ghost.
Yeah.
It's like there's this. It's oh god, what is it called? But it's an anime that has basically the English dub just could do whatever the heck they wanted with it, and it's the funniest thing on the face of the earth. I just can't remember the name of the show anymore. It's over like 10, 15 years old. It's an old show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it might be something else, but it's very iconic in like the old anime meme scene.
Because like I will have guests on and like I'll be like, hey, tell me about your favorite anime and things like that. It'll like they'll list all these animes. And I'm just like, I don't know what any of the. I know I've heard a few of them, but
Hmm.
I'm just like, I don't know what some of these are. And
Yeah.
you know what? It is what it is. So,
That's
uh,
why I always go to One Piece. Most people know One Piece. And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, I can talk about One Piece all the time. It's so easy.
because I always tell people because like as growing up, because I mean like the mid 2000s had really good, really solid anime. Because it was like Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto, One
Mhm.
Piece, Cowboy Bebop,
Mhm.
Trigon. I think
Mhm.
Black Lagoon was around. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I've watched all of those but Inuyasha. I missed Death
Really?
Note. It wasn't up my alley when I was younger. I liked more of the action ones and I was like,
What did?
Inuyasha just seems a little, but that was just my personal preference when I was younger, and now I don't know if I want to go back and watch it because I'm watching so many new things. But I've seen everything else you mentioned. That was just the one I didn't watch.
Well, they have a spinoff now of Inuyasha, so
Hmm.
it
I
was. I
have heard
liked
of
it.
that.
It was. I mean, it's not as good as
Yeah.
as Inuyasha, but it was still relative. It was fine in its own rights.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm just like, oh man, this is just a lot of anime, and like
Yeah.
it was always interesting too because growing up, I had friends who were, they loved anime. They would bring manga to school and things like that, and I was kind of like, oh, you guys are so weird. And then years later, I started doing this podcast, meeting all these cosplayers who love anime, and just like,
Hmm.
okay, I can see why these people were the way they were back in like middle
Yeah.
school, high school. So.
Yeah, I definitely hid my anime obsession until I was like mid high school. Um, just because it was a different time. Anime wasn't as mainstream. It was very much like, oh, you don't want people to know.
Yeah.
Now it's like everywhere. You can go to the mall and there's a kiosk with the Deku, and you're like, wow, anime.
We have a local library here, and I don't know if they still do it, but they had like a teen zone. I think every Monday night, I think it was, where like some of the people that I went to high school with, they would go over there, hang out for a couple of hours. And pretty much I went once, and pretty much they all was just either playing Yu-Gi-Oh or reading
Mhm.
some form of manga. And I was just like, you know what, this is fine. I'm okay
Yeah,
with this.
yeah,
So,
very chill.
um, I gotta find out if they still do that. I would assume probably not.
I know a lot of like game shops do that, where they'll
Oh
supply
yeah,
like little manga libraries and have open tables for people to play games and such.
yeah.
At least around this in California, it's a little more uh, everywhere.
I think
Everything's here.
I think there's two. Cause we have a Books a Million here where I live, um, and there are maybe one or two comic shops, and I've seen people like in there playing more Magic the Gathering than anything else,
Mhm.
and so which I thought about getting into Magic the Gathering, but I'm just kind of like that's just a lot. I'll just let my friend play for me, and we'll just call it
Yeah.
even. So, um, or they would do like I think one year they had like a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, so that was pretty cool
Mhm.
to
That's fun.
go and check out. But now again, with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just not as fun because just how much the new rules and it's just like
Yeah.
you basically can lose in 2 turns and you never have a chance to draw a card or anything like that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like I don't really like this. So
Yeah, it's definitely based on what format they're playing. It changes
yeah, so
uh perspective for how if you want to play or not. Um I'm not I've learned how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I just it wasn't my game. I did play Weiss for a little bit. I played Digimon for quite a while until
ooh, I love Digimon.
the game kind of broke itself. And then I started learning One Piece and then I just haven't had time to get back into it. But I do collect the cards because they're One Piece, and I love it. I only collect certain characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like I'm gonna just have a little collection in my.
No offense to you, but it's just certain characters that I want. So,
Yeah,
so,
just a few.
so when you're not cosplaying or anything like that, what is your typical uh average everyday life look like?
I do have a day job. I won't go too much into it because I do like to keep it separate
Oh
from my
yeah,
cosplay stuff. Um, and then I've got two cats that take up my life, and then I watch a lot of anime.
that's pretty much it.
Um, I play some games too, not as much. Making the costumes does take time, so I'll allocate some time for that, and then just re-merchandising and watching anime, and then I play my phone game Nikkei, and then I get sleepy. I actually sleep. I don't have quite an exciting day-to-day life.
Oh, okay. uh,
It's pretty basic.
uh, how far in advance do you plan your cosplays?
So if there's a character I want to cosplay, I will just decide to start making her when I like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I'll just start then. Um, when I would wear it, I don't know if it's a costume like that. But then there's when I know I have events, I'll try to figure out what I want to wear to that event, like maybe a month ahead of time, so I can be like, oh, if I need to make something, I can. But there's times where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna wear things I already have. So I won't choose what I wear until the day of the event or the day before, which is not good. I don't suggest anyone to do that at all. If you follow me on social media and I do that, you'll see I'll have like a post on my story being like, what should I wear tomorrow? There'll be like 10 different costumes I can wear.
Oh my goodness.
I keep a lot of my costumes and I tend to rewear them a lot or when I can. So that will happen a lot.
Oh my god.
At least nowadays. Back in the day, I used to make a costume for every convention. That's just not possible anymore.
What's been the hardest one for you to make?
Probably my biggest cosplay that we've made is my Mia from Monster Musume. I'm really tall, and Mia is a snake lady.
Oh,
She's a Lima. She's half beautiful anime girl, half snake body,
oh,
and she is one of my OG wives. And because I wanted it to be accurate to my height, um, the tail is about 7 to 8 feet long
oh, okay.
to be accurate to my height and how long hers would be. So we also used leather and scuba to make it. So that's material that my very inexpensive sewing machine does not like. Um, and it definitely took the entire room of the house that I lived in at the time when we were making it. It would just be like the entire room was snake tail.
Oh my
And I love that costume. I'm hopefully gonna wear it again soon, but I don't have I that's still up in the works of when.
god. So so for that one, how long did it take you to wait? Is it still a work in progress, or did you?
Oh no, I've debuted it. We did it 2018, I think, is when we debuted it. Uh, I think that one took about 2 or 3 months to make.
Oh, is that the longest?
Um, yeah, I tend to make my costumes pretty quickly.
Oh, okay.
Um, I do have some passion projects that like I like, oh, I'll make this part and then sit on it for like 2 months. And then like if I'm making something, I like to make it all at once. But when I do time frames, I'm like, okay, that one was just like we started it and had to finish it for a set convention. So we had a time gap that we had to hit. But most of my costumes, when making them, take roughly a month or two.
Okay.
Um, I haven't done any huge builds that took me super, super long uh, yet. I have some that I want to do, but we'll see if I get to them.
So other than anime shows, do you also I well I guess I assume you watch anime movies as well.
Mhm.
Hey, what's your let's say top five? What's your top five favorite anime movies that you've watched?
Well, two of them are going to be One Piece related, so
Oh,
just to
okay.
warn you that. I love Film Red. Uh, that I love rewatching that. One Piece Film Gold is my other top anime movie. Uh, I just will randomly put that on. It's so good. it's just it's the it's the crew in like Vegas. What can you not love about that? You got the showgirls, you got the gambler. It's fun. It's a fun movie. And then uh what else have I watched? Um I love the Miyazaki movies, so one of my top ones is The Cat Returns. That just had a special place in my heart. Spirited Away.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Um, I haven't watched Suzume yet, but I know I'm gonna love it. I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch it. That's the one with the chair, the little chair guy. Um, I don't know the exact plot because I haven't watched it. But the
Was it
guy
one
turns
that
into a
wasn't there one
chair.
that just came out? Well, not just came out, but
I think that's Suzume. I'm pretty sure
oh, okay, okay.
it came out. It came out maybe a few months ago at this point.
Yeah, because I
Um,
remember it had like Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
oh no, that's the one where Edward Cullen is the Twilight character. Edward, his actor is
Oh,
the
Robert Pattinson.
Crow. Robert Pattinson's the Crow. I don't know what that one's called. That's a Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
Heron or something.
Yeah,
The
something
Boy and
like
the
that.
Heron. I haven't seen that one yet either, but I hear Robert did a fantastic job voicing the Crow or the
I think
Heron,
like
whatever character.
because I think William Dafoe was also in it as well.
Yeah, sometimes the newer Ghibli movies get some crazy voice actors that are not voice actors but actual actors in them, and it's very interesting to see.
Who's your favorite voice actor?
Oh, so I'm one of those people that don't watch things in English. Um,
Oh,
so not I love. Don't get me wrong, English voice actors have a very special place in my heart. I love them. They're doing a fantastic job, but I'm all about the JP when it comes to watching anime. Um, I could not pronounce his name, but the voice actor who does Dio is one of my favorites. He's in like everything I watch. He's in so many shows, so many that I've gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, it's Dio. But I couldn't tell you his name off the top of my head. I'm really bad with names and voice actors, sadly. Hence why I've named every actor as the character they play, not the actor.
oh, okay, okay.
I'm bad at remembering names.
Sometimes on TikTok, I will come across, somebody's at a convention and they'll ask like, "What's the most underrated or most overrated anime or anything like that?" So
Mhm.
for you, what do you think is the most underrated anime, and what do you think is the most overrated anime?
Um, I'd probably say no one talks about Death Parade enough. Death Parade needs more love. So that's underrated. Everyone needs to talk about that one. It came out, oh god, it came out like probably 10 years ago now. It's 12 episodes. It's on Hulu. Just go watch it on Hulu. It's English and Japanese. It's 12 episodes. We're never getting a season 2 for it because we don't need a season 2 for it. It's so good. Um, Overrated. Oh, I have one of those opinions that a lot of people hate me for. Um, I really liked the beginning of Attack on Titan,
Oh,
but I'm not a big fan of it anymore. It's a good show, and I understand its cultural uh, what's the word? Significance. I understand cultural significance in the anime world and in pop culture, but it's just not my thing. I also think, oh, My Hero is also extremely overrated. I loved My Hero initially, but I am having a hard time watching it now. I'm
oh.
having a really hard time. I've cosplayed a bunch of My Hero, and I'm having a hard time.
Uh, I remember. I can't remember. I don't know. You may have seen it at this point, but I remember there's been like a big blow up of like of people asking. I guess to framely put it, unnecessary questions at conventions when there's like panels and stuff like that. Because I remember
Mhm.
I remember seeing people talking about this one girl who was asking. I guess it was My Hero Academia, maybe. She was asking
Mhm.
about like the relationship between characters.
Mhm.
But everybody was just kind of like, booing her, and like you could tell the
Um,
voice actor was like very much uncomfortable discussing that kind of stuff. And so,
mhm.
is there? Do you? I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase it.
Mhm.
Do you think there are certain like aspect, like if you have a question about a show, do you think there should be like kind of like a restriction of like what kind of question you can ask a voice actor in regards to a show? I think that's probably not the best way how I want to frame
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I wouldn't say like there should be restriction because obviously, you know what they say in school, there's no stupid questions.
Mm,
Every question technically is valid. I think it's going to be more of the remember who you're asking before you ask the question. Because of the situation that you kind of were mentioning about the person asking the voice actors about relationships, the voice actors didn't write the show. They
mm.
just yes, they study the character immensely, but they're not gonna. They typically don't ship their own characters. Like that's not gonna. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, you obviously they love their characters and such, but things like that will get uncomfortable. So just remember how questions like affect others and the people you're asking before asking them.
Yeah.
Just be respectful. Be a good human being.
Yeah, because I mean now it seems like everybody's talking about how some 9-year-old kid was asking about Has Been Hotel at one of the
Oh yeah,
conventions, and people were just kind of
that's
like, "Why are you watching this?"
yeah, that's very much a. I haven't watched the new Habsburg Hotel stuff yet, but I do know it's more of a more mature
Oh yeah,
show. Some people even say it should be completely like R-rated. I don't know if it is or not, but I
it should.
believe that
I would
it's
probably say it
probably
should be all right. Yeah, it should be all
so
right.
that's just something like that's a I wouldn't say like I mean the kid's gonna ask it because the kid watched it, but at
Yeah,
the same time it's just a weird situation. It's like, oh, do you blame the child for making everyone uncomfortable or do you blame the parent? Do you like the whole thing is just kind of yeah, that's just a
that's just where you
um
pull the fire alarm.
yeah, that also is the case where it's like maybe the panel should have been age restricted.
Mm.
Um so there's multiple layers to that could have I can't tell you who's to blame because
Right,
there's
right.
there's multiple situations that could have been I mean, maybe their household is super open on that stuff and that's just how they run their household, but maybe in like a panel setting, the convention should have made it an 18 plus panel because they were talking about 18 plus stuff. But also, it's like inclusivity. It's one of those weird.
Yeah,
You gotta.
yeah.
It could go any way, direction or way.
So, what's the craziest thing that you have personally experienced at a convention?
Oh, crazy, 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 crazy. Um, there's probably lots that I just don't blink an eye to anymore that
Oh,
are absolutely insane, probably. So I'm trying to think like what actually is crazy. Uh, one thing that like super like well, it's like what's the definition of crazy? Because I've got like I have a story where I was boothing and someone wanted me to step on them,
oh,
and I've got that type of crazy, but and they wanted both of my feet, and I was just like, no, 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 no. Um, that is my whole body weight. I do not want to hurt you. And then there's other crazy where it's like I was going to the airport, and the convention provided me transportation to the airport because the airport was further away. And
Okay.
I was sitting next to a bunch of voice actors, and I was like, what am I doing here? I'm
Oh,
sitting next to uh not Samurai Jack, but the villain is Samurai Jack and Bulbasaur. Um that's like a different type of
oh,
crazy.
that is. Oh, wow. Was this the original voice actor, or was this like the newer one? Because obviously, because they brought back like a final
The
season of
original.
Samurai Jack.
The original. Um
Oh,
he
okay.
was a sweetheart. I absolutely super sweet, nice guy. Um so I have like very different levels of like, crazy.
That is actually really cool.
Yeah. That was very much I sat there and I was like, what am I doing? It was like the first time I boothed at a convention, and I was just like, I'm not worthy to be in here. What's going on?
How many were there?
There was like, plus like partners and stuff. There was probably like 6 of us in the van,
Okay.
maybe 7. Um, it was yeah, it was very it was very much like I'm not worthy to be in this car. I
Right.
just had the same flight time as you guys, and this was the car they put me in.
It's just been like, so what characters have you voiced? Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, I had to explain I'm a cosplayer, and it was my first ever guesting convention too. So I had to like really sell myself, and I was just like, "I'm so sorry. I am a child in your eyes. I never boothed a convention until this weekend, and here I am. I shouldn't be in the same car as you, but I am." Very humbling experience. I just was like, "Do I talk? Do I just sit here?" And I was traveling solo, so I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Were they on the same plane as you as well, or you're always just
No,
going through the?
I think we all had different airlines. It was just very much going to the airport, and I was just like, hey.
I can just imagine you like getting out of the car, and you're just like, you know what? I handled that pretty well.
Yeah. I just I also like, because I don't watch English voice acting, I didn't quite know who I was with until
Uh,
after the fact, and I looked up the guest list of the convention, and I was like, oh, that's that person. Because I'm like I said, I love voice actors. They do fantastic jobs. I don't watch English subbed, so or yeah, English dubbed. So it's I have a hard time recognizing voices and on that scape.
oh my gosh. um, what's one famous voice? Well, yeah, yeah. What's one famous voice actor that you really want to meet above everybody else?
Uh, English or JP?
Uh,
Because JP probably would be Dio. I
okay.
mean,
Well,
he's in everything. He's an icon in the voice acting sphere. Um, English probably. I do play Genshin Impact in English, so probably some of those voice actors I would love to meet. I have met some of them,
oh, okay.
but I haven't had the chance to meet certain characters that I think are really cool.
Okay. You mentioned you don't game very much, but when
Mhm.
you did or when you do, what are you typically playing?
Um, I I play Genshin, not as often as I used to, just because I don't have the time.
All right.
The one game I'm playing consistently is Nikkei Goddesses of Victory. That's on my phone, so I can just play it super easily. When it comes to console, I play a lot of the Pokemon games.
Okay.
I love Pikmin. Pikmin's one of my favorites. Um, and then I really like Catherine. Um, that's one of my favorites as well. And kind of just feel good games also, just like
Okay.
something I can mindlessly play. But because I don't have a lot of time to play the games, I'll watch like streamers play them and just be like, yeah, I played that. No, I didn't.
who's your favorite streamer?
Right now I watch a lot of Hololive. And one of my my Oshis is Fuomoko, and Kiara on the English. JP, I love Noelle and Choco. But I also really love Sencho and Pekora. And then I just kind of watch. I'll watch a lot of. Basically anyone from Hololive that's streaming a game. I want to like watch. I'll watch them.
Okay.
Mhm. They're VTubers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I know any of those people. So
So Hololive's the corporation, the company that they all work for.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Eh. Eh. Uh I don't think I follow stream. Well, I mean there are a few people like that I like, but like not in that circle. So
Yeah.
I'm very much more of a like a horror game lover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. I've been watching a lot of you've probably seen his TikToks and all that, but I've been watching a lot of Queso.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I have some friends who stream also, so I'll go and check
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah.
Because me and a friend of mine, she streamed us playing uh Demonologist. The
Oh.
like actually it was last week, and that game was wild. That was just a wild game. It's
I'll
kind of
have to go
like
check it
ghost
out.
hunting, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a hot mess for us both, but we had a fun time.
Yeah.
So,
As long as it was fun, that's all that really matters.
yep, getting chased by a ghost throughout a house is very, very fun.
Very fun.
very, very Scooby Doo esque. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it was good, pretty good fun. Um,
Nice.
so which the conventions you go to? Because I know some cons do it, but they'll have like after hours kind of events. How do any of the
Mm-hmm.
cons that you go to? Do they do anything like that?
Yeah. A lot of them that I go to have sponsored parties, post parties, and then I also just hang out with my friends post conventions because I get sleepy and I just like I just want to eat yummy food and just see people that I don't get to see ever.
I had almost came to California a
Mhm.
couple of weeks ago uh to support a friend of mine. She was working at oh what is that? What was that called? It was oh what was that called? Oh, I gotta look it up now because I honestly don't remember. Um, oh, here we go. It was where you at? Okay, it was called H Night at the Ramada. Is what it was called. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Was that back in
it was
the beginning
May
of April?
11th.
May 11th? Okay. There was another H Mart thing that was in the beginning of April that I was supposed to work at, and then I was at a different convention, so I had to decline.
Yeah, this one had like it was H Night at the Ramada. It was at I think like the they say it's the largest anime marketplace. I don't know if that's true or not.
Hmm.
It's just kind of like
Yeah.
there's like 15 Sal's pizzas, but there's the original
Hmm.
one is
Hmm.
so and so in New York or whatever. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
didn't get to attend that event, but I did have friends that were featured guests at it.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't seen them since the event, so I haven't been able to ask them.
Oh,
I've
okay.
been super busy, so I haven't been able to see them.
Watching your 20 different animes and things like that.
I had to get ready for a convention. I was very busy.
Because one of my friends, she worked the event. She was one of the they had a bunny. They called it like a bunny lounge where like some of the workers wore Playboy bunny outfits
Mhm.
kind of deal. So she was doing that, but she looked like she had a fun
Yeah.
time with it. So it looked fun,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I was trying to go, but I think I had something going on that weekend as well, and I was just kind of
Hmm.
like, and going out to California just for a weekend is a little bit pricey on my end.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, you know what, maybe next time.
Hmm.
So it was, but it was fun time for her.
Mhm.
Um, cause I remember, the reason I was asking is like I went to Dragon Con in Atlanta
Mhm.
for the first time
Oh,
last year.
that's something I really want to go to. That's on my bucket list.
It was really fun because like I think
Mhm.
they had like a night, like a rave after hours at the hotel. So
Mhm.
that looked out. I didn't stay for very long because the
Yeah.
where Dragon Con falls is also the start of college football, and so
Ah.
so I have to make sure I prioritize
Yeah.
things.
Which
So,
ones? Yeah.
um, but I went on a Friday and it was actually really fun. It was very fun. Got to see some. At least there was like at least three people I had on the podcast that were there. I was only able to
Mhm.
find one of them, but there was like
Mhm.
thousands of people. So at least
Yeah.
I'm happy that
Yeah.
I found one of them.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was very fun. Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't gone to that yet.
I just it has landed on a like during a time where I'm unable to leave California a lot of times,
Oh, okay.
and my schedule is opening up a little bit more coming next year. So there's a chance I might be able to squeeze it into my schedule, but we'll see. I also want to go with like a group of people, so I need to find people
Right,
who want to go with me.
right. Trying to think of who. I'm trying to think of who all the people that I've had on who are in California. I think Katrina's one. Alyssa's another. Misha, Thea. I think Thea's in California. I've had a lot.
Yeah.
It's like Texas and California are the main two where I've had a good portion of my guests come from. So
Mhm.
it's just like, oh, okay, well, this is fine. This is completely
Yeah.
fine. So, um, let's see, I've had guests from California, Colorado, Arizona, Texas, Florida, New York, New Jersey.
You got to start making a map.
Yeah, you're right. Missouri. uh,
Start
I've
checking off the map based on who's been where.
uh, three people from the UK, one from the Czech Republic, and two from Canada, and one from Australia.
That's quite a spectrum.
It
You
is.
got to make a map
You're
and
right. I really
find you.
do. I
It's
really
like
should do that. That's a
everyone
lot.
that's been there.
That is very much. The Caribbean. I had somebody from the Caribbean.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I should definitely do that because that is a lot, actually.
Yeah, map it and color it in once you've had someone.
May I definitely need to look into that. Definitely need to look into that. But all right, guys, that is where we will end this week's episode of Nerd Talk. Hope you guys had a fun time listening in or watching. But as per usual, up on screen now are all the ways you can follow and support. But for those who are listening on podcast, how can they follow and support you?
So you can find me on almost every social media platform as Lollipop Heidi 13. Or if you Google Lollipop Heidi cosplay, I typically pop up. And then you can find which socials you want to find that way.
And so be sure to go give a follow, show some love. But that's pretty much it, guys. You guys have a great weekend. I'm sure if you're a working person, you're glad it's the weekend. Um,
Yeah.
be sure to check out the channel as well because we are currently going through a rewatch of
Ooh.
Lost Tapes. Which, if you don't know what
Ooh.
that was, it was back in 2009. They released like a series of like cryptologist episodes where it's like
Mhm.
encounters with Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster, the
Ooh.
Chupacabra. So it was very entertaining. We did episode one last week. Episode 2 is about to come out this weekend, actually. So, but yeah, definitely check that out.
Yay.
So,
Yeah, go check it out.
but yeah, we'll definitely look to have you on again at some point in the
Yeah, of
future.
course. Yeah,
I don't know what, but we'll definitely get that figured out.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to chat some more. Talk more about Animu.
Catch us up on all your seasons of all the
Yeah.
animes.
Yeah. Next time I'll have to be like, okay, which 8 am I watching now?
Is that what you're about to do as soon as we get off? Is go watch anime?
Probably. I need to make dinner.
Oh,
Gotta make something to eat and then put anime on while I eat.
I respect that.
Yeah. Multitask.
All right, guys, hit that like and subscribe button, comment below, and other than that, we will see you in the next video. See ya.